The stock of yesterday and a lot of questions yet to be answered is Lupin. We're joined by the management of Lupin to answer all the questions that had happened with respect to the warning letter. S. Ramesh of Lupin joins us. Thanks, Ramesh, so much for speaking to BloombergQuint. What was stated was the fact that there were in total between both the plants 9 observations in the Form 483s that were given. Since the warning letter is not out in public domain yet and only you have it, can you tell us how many observations are listed in the warning letter that have been given to you?
Yes, there are 2 observations which have been listed, and you're right in saying that there was a total of 9 observations between the 2 plants. But the warning letter is actually a joint warning letter across both these facilities. It's Goa and the second unit is Pithampur, and it lists down 2 observations. And I'll tell you about both. First off, this is actually relating to out-of-specification testing, the way we do our sampling. And the second part is relating to, in fact, stability tests relating to, holdout units. Both of this obviously caught us by surprise because we didn't expect this to turn out to be a warning letter. We did think that it was something that we would, that we were in the clear and we were expecting, in fact, an EIR for both units. But unfortunately, this development did take place.
Okay, so you're saying there were only 2 observations. These are the 2 that you have highlighted. There are no other observations. Just for the record, only 2 observations that have been stated in the warning letter that is given to you.
Absolutely, that is correct.
Okay. Secondly, in the conference call yesterday, you have mentioned that, there are no data integrity issue. Now, I just want a clarity. Is the company assuming that there is no data integrity issue, or has the US FDA indicated to you by written or oral communication that there are no data integrity issue?
No, there are absolutely no data integrity issues at all. The 9 observations that were actually listed some time ago does not talk about anything on data integrity at all. So there's absolutely none of that kind. And for sure, there will be no disruption of supplies again. This is just a warning letter, which would actually mean that perhaps approvals would be delayed until further clearances come for these 2 facilities. But otherwise, it's business as usual insofar as the existing product line is concerned.
By when can we expect a resolution for this entire issue?
Obviously it takes a little time. A second of this perhaps could be done within a short period of time. Second of the observation status, but the first will obviously take up a few months of doing because it calls for going back, in time and getting the data collated, and that's what is actually called for. So they were pretty happy about the prospective action taken by the company, but they wanted some action on, in fact, going back in history, after 2014 January. So this would take about, in our opinion, from our perspective, about 12 to 15 months for resolution, including the time that will be taken by FDA, including re-inspection or whatever that is required. So we do think that this would get solved between in the next 12 to 15 months.
So 12 to 15 months for both the plants. So because you said that one of the observations was relatively easier and faster to do it, but does this mean that, till the time both the observations are cleared, none of the facilities will be cleared?
I would imagine that they would actually take it jointly because it is addressed jointly. So to that extent, both the observations, that is. So it would take 12 to 15 months for these to get resolved.
How much % of your total sales, or probably if you can tell us US sales, do both these plants contribute?
It's a fairly important chunk for sure. So we do have other facilities as well, but these are very important sites. But as I keep stressing, there is no disruption on existing supplies. It's only for future launches that would actually be there'd be future launches, of course, at your price to the extent that there are observations from these 2 plants.
No. The reason, Ramesh, I'm asking you is that, the various analyst reports that have come out vary that, these 2 plants contribute anywhere between 20% and some right as high as 50%. Now, investors are worried because they don't know how much is that issue. So that is the reason I'm asking.
The U.S. operations itself constitutes about 45% of our total revenues, the company's revenues. And these 2 facilities are indeed important from that perspective, but it's not necessarily the 40% or 50% that people talk about.
Okay. Yesterday you said that you plan there are close to 50 products that will be impacted because of this, out of which, in the near term there will be close to 25. Then your management went on to say that 12 of the products, a dozen, that was something that was said. So let's take 12 products that will be transferred to other sites so that some of the approvals can come in much faster. Which are these 12 products that we are talking about?
No, there are a few products that we've identified which could potentially be transferred to some other site for launch over time. But for sure,
Okay. Will Lupin be able to? The current run rate is close to almost $200 million a quarter for US for Lupin. Will this run rate be maintained?
yes, that's what we believe.
Okay.
The good thing about it is, 18 and 19 were indeed going to be lackluster years for us. So to the extent, in fact, it is going. The setback is going to impact us marginally only, and for sure, even this you would mitigate by transferring more some of the more important products out to other sites which are not impacted by this, by this issue.
Okay. Will this, because the guidance that you had given, just wanted a clarity, did it include any of these launches, these 12 launches that would have come around?
I said there are a few products which anyway have come through in the next 18 months, so to speak, and some of these obviously we would do what it takes to protect their chances by moving it out to some other site.
No, but since then you're saying it will take 12 months, so won't your guidance change? Are you revising your guidance downward?
I'm basically saying that these products will be moved out. So to that extent, the launch timelines would not be impacted at all.
Okay, many thanks for that, Ramesh, for speaking to BloombergQuint and giving us more clarity on what exactly is there as far as this warning letter is concerned.